I think one of the things that I would have said, getting enough galleries, like the kind of galleries I want to exhibit with, is practically a challenge, because between last year to this year, I exhibited with only one gallery, that's Art 21 in a hotel run by Kalin Shagori. So yeah, it was a superb exhibition. It was a perfect place. I was like, man, because I exhibited in 2019 with some group of people. I wasn't really satisfied with the way my work was. My uncle wanted to see a video of it. I did a video though, but I couldn't send it to him because I felt this is not how I want people to see my work. So I now withdrew, and I like, if I don't get the right representation, I'm not putting out my work anywhere. So the major challenge is getting the right galleries to represent your work. And another thing is, before I discovered the gallery, I went to one or two galleries, but I didn't carry my physical work. I went with photographs in a portfolio. But the reaction I got from those galleries were, they weren't confident to show my work because they weren't sure of the audience that were coming to their gallery, if they were going to be ready to see something different or something new. They wanted things that looks like the things everybody is doing. I didn't want to do this kind of thing. So that was why I started withdrawing. Like, I want to see people interested in what I'm doing, then we can continue. But me chasing them, yeah, I have to, even if I will have to chase people, then it has to be the right people. Well, we really don't have a lot of galleries who want to try the great things. Yeah, and many times in history, people keep missing the beautiful works, the works that end up making history. Most of the time, they don't end up joining. Like, people don't tend to benefit well enough because they were scared to start with these people. After I exhibited with at 21, I have had 3 other galleries that have approached me. One out of Lagos, one out of Nigeria, then another one in Lagos. So yeah, some of them were waiting to see, like, yeah, people like his work is now showing in that place. But not everybody wants to start you when you want to build the brand. So it's just those who really believe in, yeah, this guy has something unique and this is what we need. If you look at the continuum of artistry, or the canon of painting, or I don't know the term to use, yeah, you know, it's not 100% different from what has existed. I did not invent colors, I didn't invent canvas, but minimalism is not new. There is a popular name, like some people, when they see my work, they mention Piet Mondrian. You could say Frank Stella, you could talk about Klee, you could even relate it to, like myself, I relate it to the Ndebele traditional motifs in South Africa. So I can't say it is exclusively new or different from what has existed. It falls into a continuum of history that has existed before it. But then, it is talking about Danfo now. And talking about Danfo, you could Google Danfo if you don't mind. You could check the hashtag on Instagram after now, and you hardly find something like this painting you have here. You hardly find something like that painting. I do that. I check Danfo a lot because it's one of the hashtags that I follow. And people don't represent the Danfo story the way I am representing them currently. It's very different. This is me speaking, but I've heard it from people within Nigeria and even outside Nigeria, like, this is a very different way, or this is a new perspective to what we have been seeing. I pretty know it is. But I'm not saying minimalism, like they call it in the academic setting, is a new thing. People have been painting with flat colors, minimal colors, less details, go straight to the point, clean lines. All of that has existed for many years before me, and it will continue even after me. But in each of us who do this kind of painting, we have always tried to create something unique about us. That was the more reason why you said you saw so many yellows on my works. Yeah, because it's more like the me, the real me as a Lagosian. Of course, I'm referring to the yellow Danfo bus you saw on your way coming here and everybody is seen all around. It is that Danfo. The first thing about most people who depict Danfo, they pick out the 2 black lines on the yellow bus. That one is very common and it will continue. Then the second thing is, tell people to paint Danfo, they will paint a bus for you. If you look at my gallery on my phone, you see those 2 lines on the bodies of those Danfo buses. I have a variation of many other designs I have discovered from those buses. It's not just about 2 lines sometimes. There are varieties of them I have discovered and I pick concepts from those guys and I interpret it in a very different way. You know, when they tell us to write a composition in secondary school, then you know, they will give everybody a topic, but by the time we all write our compositions, they come out in different ways because our thought processes are different. So I get this information, when it goes into me, my brain processes it differently. So in the course of processing those information, I tend to create these kind of works you are seeing today. So that's why it's like different, but it's still the same Lagos story I'm telling. Talking about the process of my work, most of the time it starts from observing and listening to the streets. I listen to people a lot, I observe what's happening a lot, and I pick ideas from there. Before I created these works, okay, let me just explain from the titles of some of the works here now. The first work up there is Okada Man. Everybody in Lagos can relate to Okada Man when you say Okada Man. So it's from the streets, but why can't we paint a beautiful Okada Man that can hang both here and in Los Angeles? It can hang in Helsinki, it can be hung in Pompeii or wherever. The people like, what's this work about? And you say, no, this is Okada Man. In this generation where we have Okada today, I am talking about this time, I'm documenting this time, but I'm representing it in a way that even people outside here would want to know more details about this. If you are new in Lagos and you first encounter my work and I tell you this is Johnny Just Come, and you're like, what is Johnny Just Come? You can Google it, then you understand, oh, something like this can happen. Then you will know how to relate to the people, because you could be a victim to people who take advantage of newcomers. So like this other one now, I titled it Owoda. Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry though, but not really sorry as such. The reason why the black line shouldn't even be on the yellow is because it shouldn't just be straight to the point sometimes. It should be like, why did you put the 2 black lines on the white place? Yeah, because I believe we can purify the concept of, or we can redefine the concept of collecting tax or collecting money from people in Lagos. You see the way I go like, hey, you know, all those kind of stuff. And I feel there can be a better way, even if I have some idea how it can happen. But I want to make people discuss this topic, or it should be part of discussions. So I'm trying to say it can be pretty organized the way my work looks. And I really want people to inquire or to feel interested in the story. So it's more of the story for me. I create a visual representation, and my visual representation oftentimes starts from paper to the system Sometimes it doesn't get to the system, but sometimes it gets to the system. So I create a graphic representation, I look at it. After looking at it, sometimes I edit. Sometimes the editing takes place while I'm working on it, on the canvas. So, but it takes quite a number of while. Most times it takes weeks, sometimes even more than a month before I execute the work, because I'll really contemplate real good. Sometimes it might be complex, I'll be reducing it to the most simplest way it can come out. So all of that happens before I get my canvas. I get to get colors on the canvas. Then I work with some of the materials you find here. Like I measure a lot so the lines can be straight, so it can be very perfect. Yeah, I measure like all the time. Sometimes I use pencil, ruler, I mark it just to be sure I get it right. You see I have masking tape right here. Sorry I scattered the stuff. Yeah, so I use it to mark the lines so the colors will look neat. So I do that, then I work with acrylic color because it dries very fast. It looks very neat, it looks very brilliant. And I think that's it for now. I apply my colors with brushes. Like you can see, I have my brushes here. So I work with brushes. Don't mind the yellow brushes. I love them because they pretty look like the yellow I paint. So yeah, so that's me and how I work. Well, since I started painting and professionally practicing, I've been very fortunate. Yeah, let me put it this way. I initially said I tried starting with some lower galleries. I didn't succeed, but I am fortunate to exhibit or to be exhibiting with one of the best galleries, if not the best gallery in Lagos. That's at 21 Lagos. So many people dream they want to have their works hung on that wall, but not everybody gets in. Not everybody. Really, before you get the opportunity to have your work in such high class gallery. So me exhibiting or to have exhibited with such a gallery, it's a big one for me, because even people who I feel that this guy has gone high in the industry, I would really like, I really wish I can exhibit in that gallery. But it's not easy to get in there. So yeah, that's pretty one. Then last year, Artex Lagos, I don't know if you know about Artex Lagos, is the biggest art fair in West Africa. I was one of their finalists during the Artex review. I knew I was the last person that was interviewed. I applied like almost at the end of the whole thing, but within 48 hours, I got a mail from them to send my portfolio, and I got the opportunity to be part of the participants in the review and one of the finalists. I think we were 12 in number, and I think the 3 people that ended with me, the last review, like I'm from Nigeria, one was from Panama, the other one from UK. So it's a big one. I know they had over 500 applicants, like they said, but not everybody got to that height. Not everybody has gotten the opportunity to have their works posted on ArtX page. Like, it's a big one for me, and it is really cool that I have been fortunate to get people from the high class being interested in my works more than those down. Yeah, so it's a good achievement. The value of a work of art is not quantified by monetary value we place on them. A lot of times it's not by that. And the value, oftentimes, mostly in the secondary market, is not even determined by the artist himself. Yes, I kind of have some prices I tag my work with when I want to sell them. Like I say this one is 250,000 naira. Yeah, it's not because of the work is this size or is that size. I value it by what I perceive the creativity I've put into its words. So that's how I do it for myself. then a lot of time in the markets, in the primary market, like the galleries, the size of the work contributes to what the work should cost or what it's going to cost, the name of the artist, like how well or how good is that brand being bought. I see my work breaking records in the art market. Like, I can't tell, I wouldn't know how much it's going to go for, but I feel what I am doing would make those headlines in the future. And I really want it to influence the way people think, the way people behave, especially in Lagos. Like, Lagos sometimes gets so chaotic, and I pick inspiration from this chaos and refine it to a very clean canvas painting. And I really want to see this clean canvas painting influencing the people who inspired me again. So I envisage it's going to bring discussion that will make Lagosians look at if these are lifestyles or these old kiosks could make somebody say, I want people to move in straight lines, to move clean, to have a clean environment, to have a more structured way of going about doing things. I really see that happening, because if I have more of this going out and more people getting involved in the discussion, it's really going to influence the characters of people, and it might give us a better Lagos in the future. So I see it influencing lives, influencing thinking, influencing the basic things you find yourself around. Like even the car you drive, maybe someday you'll be picking somewhere from my work to paint your car, and it's going to look pretty unique from all the rest cars on the road. So that's really what I see my work doing in the future. I believe I will be involved in very important exhibitions, hopefully in the next 5 years' time to come, around the world. I want to believe before the next 5 years to come, I would have been able to create more interesting pieces than the ones I have today. Any other thing that comes out of creating those beautiful pieces that is going to make the world a better place is left to the people who are receiving the work. So whatever they do, if they receive it well and if they appreciate it well, it may go beyond what I am expecting. But for now, I can say, yeah, being part of important exhibitions, creating more interesting pieces and all of that is what I can do, which are the things I can control within my own power.
Glad to have you here with me on another episode of Startups. I'm Tamilore Akinfolye. Now, in a world where data is becoming the cornerstone of decision making and innovation, Curriculum is leading the charge in harnessing this power to drive progress in Africa. Founded in 2019 by Michael Collins, Curriculum is an AI-driven company providing cutting-edge data analytics software solutions. Today, we dive into the vision, challenges, and groundbreaking solutions of Curriculum and explore how it's transforming businesses and lives across the continent.
Our biggest solution right now that we offer businesses is a solution we call Insights, which is a financial analytics tool that analyzes the financial health of an entity. So it could be a business, it could be a person, and what it does is that we're able to collect data from multiple different sources, for example, bank statement data, credit bureau data if it's available, telco data, etc. And then we analyze that data, we put it into a machine learning process and analyze the data, and it exposes over 80 risk variables that are essential in understanding the financial health of an entity. My name is Michael Collins. I'm the founder and CEO of Curriculum.
Michael Collins' journey from Nigeria to Canada at the age of 19 set the stage for a transformative vision. With a background in working for financial institutions like CIB in Canada, Collins began to contemplate the challenges facing his homeland. These reflections led to him to establish Curriculum in 2019, an AI company dedicated to providing data analytics solutions to organizations.
I was born and raised in Nigeria. I grew up in Surulere, and yeah, I moved to Canada back when I was 19. Went to university there, and then worked at a couple of financial institutions there. I worked for CIBC and also BMO Bank of Montreal. And working there, I started to think about, especially back home, and think about the different problems that we have back home and what ways I could help with creating solutions for solving a lot of our problems back home. So back in 2019, I founded Curriculum, and this year will be our 5th year in operation. And so we started out as an AI company, AI ML company, where we provide data analytics software solutions to organizations in underserved markets.
As the youngest continent globally, Africa's youthful population is a catalyst for change and innovation. And according to Collins, with the right tools and knowledge, we could move forward as a country and as a people.
Africa is the youngest continent in the world, right? So when you start looking at all that stuff and you look at the potential that we have, like not just in a natural resource standpoint, but also in a human resource standpoint, you start to realize, okay, there's a lot that we have here, and if we have the right tools, the right knowledge, we could begin to move forward as a country, as a people. So that was the big motivator for me. Africa is the youngest continent in the world. Like if you look at, and this is not me saying that, this is from the New York Times. They say the average age of Africans is 19. You compare that with the average age of Canadians, which is between 40 to 49. Same with Western Europe. The average age of Americans is between 30 to 39. So we're talking very, very old countries and continents. So compare that to what we have here in Africa, where we're very young. You realize that we're now at a very unique inflection point, where on one hand we are a very young continent and country, and then on the other hand you start to realize that this young population require more. They need more, better service, better quality from the businesses, from their government. They're demanding it. It's something that they're willing to sit by and accept what our parents accepted. They're willing to now push and make changes.
Curriculum's flagship product, Insights, exemplifies their innovative approach. Insights is a financial analytic tool that evaluates the financial health of entities, revealing unique insights and determining affordability.
Our biggest solution right now that we offer businesses is a solution we call Insights, which is a financial analytics tool that analyzes the financial health of an entity. So it could be a business, it could be a person, and what it does is that we're able to collect data from multiple different sources, for example, bank statement data, credit bureau data if it's available, telco data, etc. And then we analyze that data, we put it into a machine learning process and analyze the data, and it exposes over 80 risk variables that are essential in understanding the financial health of an entity. And those variables are in 5 different buckets, which are like income analysis, spend analysis, behavior analysis. So it shows unique things like if this person has the propensity of being a gambler, for example, or what this person is spending on entertainment in a month, right? For example, right? So then and then at the end of the whole process, it shows you the affordability, what this person can actually afford in real time.
One notable success story is how Periculum saved the company from closing by reducing its customer default rate.
This is a digital lender, and they lend to all 36 states in the country. And when they came to us, they had a 89% default rate. So they're on the verge of bankruptcy. They were on the verge of closing their doors. So what we did is that we looked at their data, and we collected that data. We looked at the data, and we said, okay, what is the cause of this high default rate company-wide? And then once we did our analysis, we discovered that 14 of the 36 states that they lend money to, they had 100% default rate. 100%, as in every naira they lent out in those places, they never got back. So I won't mention the states or what part of the country they're in. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but so that's what we discovered. And then we discovered on the positive side that one of the states that they had a very good repayment rate was Lagos. So we're now, okay, what's the difference? Why are their customers in Lagos paying back compared to their customers in those 14 states? So what we then did is that we built 2 machine learning models. So one model was stricter, and the other model was a normal, regular model. So when a person applied for a loan, it became from one of those 14 100% default states. It will go through the stricter approval process, loan approval process. So the stricter machine learning model. And if the application came from one of the non-default states, it will go to the normal process. So we did that. We ran the pilot for a month, and after a month, the default rate dropped